I'll start at verse 7. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, so we read verse 6, there's no soundness, everybody's bruised up, there's no healing. Now this was what happens. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate and overthrown by strangers. And, you know, this happened to us. Obviously, this happened to Israel a few times.
You're picking up reading?
I'm picking up reading, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
This happened to Israel a few times. You go into the Maccabees. Go ahead, get that real quick. First Maccabees 1 and verse 38. This happened at the time of the Maccabees when the Romans came in and took over. But see, we got to understand, why were they allowed? Think about your mind. Put yourself in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 4 down to verse 7. Forget it says a sinful nation. Imagine it says a sinful person, laden with sin. You're an evildoer. And it goes down and it's describing you, what is the reason why a person would be like this. And it gets to verse 7, it says, their country is desolate. Their cities are burned with fire. Imagine yourself as a country, as a city that's desolate. Imagine yourself. Imagine this describing your mind as desolation and burned up. What is it that you're lacking? What is it that the scriptures, if we're talking about being healed and fixed, right? Let's look at it. It told you what you are. What is it that you're missing? What is it that you don't have? If you're a city that's burned, if you're a country that's desolate, if you're a piece of land that strangers took over, what is it that you don't have?
Walls.
You don't have walls. You don't have, what else? Wisdom. Well, we know it's wisdom ultimately, but let's take it to that carnal city, that carnal piece of land. What do you not have around that city, around that land? He said walls. You don't have a fence. You don't have a hedge. You don't have protection. What was always our protection? Now when you jump back into what we read in Deuteronomy, where the Most High said, don't go up to the hill because I'm not with you, and we went up and lost and ran back crying, what is it that this person didn't have in the world? Faith. Well, they didn't have faith is an element of something they didn't have. They didn't have the Most High in Christ. They weren't dealing in wisdom as a totality of all the fruits of the Spirit. They weren't dealing with that. So then now you got to come back and say, well, how do I get rid of my sin? How do I not be a desolate city that's being overran by strangers? Think about when you're a piece of land that strangers just come in and just plant their crops on. What does that mean? Somebody can come to you out of nowhere and just embed ideas into your brain. Right? They can come and just plow on you. They fertilize your mind with garbage doctrine. And what do? They throw seed in there. And then whatever springs up, you run with that. How do you prevent that? You got to border your land. You got to border up your city. What do you got to do? You got to gird up the loins of your mind. You got to build yourself in the wisdom. You got to be rooted up like the scriptures say. You got to be grounded and rooted up in wisdom, in knowledge. You got to put off, we talked about it earlier, you got to stop saying, well, this is how I am. We know that's how you were. But you got to say, this is not how I'm going to stay. This is how I was. I'm here to change. Right? I got to put off that old man, put on the new, and be renewed in the knowledge of Christ. When something is renewed, I'm not putting off part of the old man and saying, I'm going to stitch on some new man on him. No, I'm renewed. I got rid of all that old, and I got rid of all that hurt, all that pain, all that mistrust, all that regret. A lot of y'all hold on to this regret, and what happens is the regret eats at you, and you don't give others a chance. Most importantly, you don't give wisdom a chance to reign in you. You don't give wisdom a chance to root out all the regret, the hurt, the negative, the anger, the bitterness, and let wisdom come in, flush that out, and then let wisdom come back in and build you. Because it says wisdom buildeth her house, right? So if you a city without walls, wisdom ain't built you. If you a piece of land without a gate around that land, anybody that got land is gonna do what? Like this brother got a piece of land out in Mississippi, and he's always like, man, I gotta get out there to survey the land. When you survey the land, you set your borders. You set your borders. Somebody needs to survey you. That's what's going on now. You're being surveyed to see how do we set borders on you? How do we shore your mind? How do we put a hedge about you? It says where there is no hedge, the possession is spoiled. Right? Did I make it up? Where there is no hedge, the possession is spoiled. We got to re-hedge you. We had to all be hedged and bordered and built up. And then once you do that, now you got to put a guard there. You got to guard that up. You got to put a defense mechanism to protect those walls. The walls ain't going to protect themselves. You got to maintenance that fence. You could build a fence today, and if you don't maintenance it in 5 years, that fence is, the wind will come and blow that fence down. It'll get rotted. So you gotta, there's things that you have to constantly be doing. Maintenance, defense. You gotta maintain your mind. You gotta defend your spirit. You can't run from what the maintenance is. You can't run from the defense. Read that.
1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 38.
Come on.
Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them.
Here's that desolation. Read.
Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers.
Yeah, that fleeing, the wisdom flees your mind, and now you got strangers. They can just embed anything into your brain. They can embed any thought process, if you want to look at it like that. If we're looking at yourself as a city, yourself as a land, a piece of land, strangers now dwell in you. These strange spirits, man. And what do they cause you to do? 1 minute you're in there, 1 minute you're not. 1 minute you're down for the truth, 1 minute you don't know. 1 minute you're a faithful warrior, gangster disciple for Jesus Christ. The next thing you know, the next thought is, I don't believe in Christ. Where is he at? Wait, let me finish. Go ahead, read.
And became strange to those that were born in her.
And now you look strange to the people around you. You look strange to the people around. Like, who the hell is this person? What's going on here? Wait a minute. This ain't the such and such that I've known for 10 years, 15 years. You look strange because you let strangers change you. Go ahead.
And her own children left her.
You see that? Your people don't want to deal with you. Your own children. Read on.
Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness.
Yeah, now you're able to be pillaged and torn down. That righteous sanctuary in your mind, said, man, they came in and they just devoured all the precious jewels of wisdom that were put into you. Because you said, I don't need that. I don't want that. Carnally, they did it to our sanctuaries. They came in and they pillaged. They took all the gold. All the stuff you read about in Numbers, the plates of silver, the spoons of silver, of gold, all the dishes, all the burners, all these different things. They came into the temple and stole it. Now equate that to all the wisdom you got in your mind. All the wisdom that's been embedded in you over the years.
They said, yeah, many of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Yeah.
Right. It says, Psalms 106:39, yea, they Israel was mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
And learned their works.
Sacrificed unto devils. So we were stripped in every way.
But if you equate it now to that mind,
yeah,
that's how it gets stripped. That's how it gets stripped. They take those jewels of wisdom that are in you.
Yeah.
And now you're like a stranger. You're just like them.
Christianity did that. It's the Bible. The Bible is Sunday worship.
Yeah. Easter and New Year's and all that and all those things. Go ahead, read on.
Her feasts were turned into mourning.
Yeah, but now there are no feasts. Now it's Thanksgiving, the death day. Right? And you have a feast to that.
Yeah.
Read on.
Her Sabbaths into reproach.
Yeah, now the Sabbath is Sunday. Now we arguing about the Sabbath. When is it? Moon, this, 7 day. It got to stop. Read on.
Her honor into contempt.
Yeah, now you're no longer looked at as an honorable Israelite woman, an honorable Israelite man, because you let strangers overtake you let strangers take the honor from you by you consorting to their religion, by you trying to make yourself uncircumcised. Read.
As had been her glory,
Uh-huh.
so was her dishonor
I'm here.
increased,
Go ahead.
and her excellency was turned into mourning.
Right, and this is what we don't want to be. This is what we don't want to be described as. We don't want to be Isaiah 1. We don't want to be the ox that don't know his master's crib. We don't want to be this story in Maccabees. We don't want to be like a temple that's been ran through. We want to be that fortified temple that anything that comes up against it is getting shot down. You ain't got a chance. Huh?
God.
Let me jump back to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. In your presence, they devour your land. I mean, they're doing it to us now, right? Strangers inhabit our land, and they devour it. That's the Israel right now. That region is the land of homosexuals. They cater to more homosexuality than any place on this earth. They got the biggest gay day parade. They got the gay month. They get it in over there. Tel Aviv, they're doing it over there for the faggots. So they're devouring the land with this wickedness. And they're doing it in our presence. What can we do about it? All we can do is teach y'all that they're doing it. But we can't go over there and be like, this is our land, give it back. Not yet. It is desolate, and overthrown by strangers. And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, and as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Think about a besieged city. Look at it like this. Why would somebody want to take a city?
Because the resources.
Because of the substance of value that's in that city. Now think about it. Why does Satan attack us?
Because we're God's chosen.
Right, because of the value that we are to the Most High. You're like that city, and if you don't guard yourself, you'll be that besieged city. You ever watch like the medieval shows where they go through a city and ravish the city? They pulling out chicks by the hair, because you know what they're about to do to them? Rape them. All the boys, men are killed. And what do they say after they're done? Take everything and burn everything. So then when they ride off, all you see is smoke and fire. Then 4 or 5 days later, another rider rides through and he looks and all you see is burnt up buildings and dead bodies. You don't want to be that besieged city that's been ran through and all your precious jewels of wisdom and everything that's good about you has been taken. We want to be the city that stands. Y'all get that?
Good.
Verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. Think about those cities. What happened at the end? Burn that mug down. It said they got hit with fire that's never been seen ever. Fire and brimstone rained from the sky and destroyed that city. When you look back, all you saw was a cloud of smoke. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of your power. Why? Because the law was supposed to change us. The law was supposed to not get us into this mind state and in this condition of Isaiah 3. We were never meant to be like this. The law was supposed to bring life. When you ran from the law, now you end up like this besieged city. You end up like a person with sores and cuts that can't be healed. So how are you healed? We got to come back to the law. We got to come back to wisdom, righteousness. We got to come back to just being able to listen to one another and listen and understand where wisdom is coming from. Verse 11. Where am I going to? 27. To To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts. Yeah, because listen, we've been sacrificing so long. Think about it. We had a 24-hour operation of sacrifice to the Most High. He said, I'm full of your fat beasts. That's why he comes back in Psalms 51 and David said, sacrifice.
That would not.
That would not, right. Sacrifice and burnt offerings. He said, the Most High don't need that. Because what does he require?
A broken spirit.
That broken spirit and that contrite heart. That repentive heart. To know. How do I, first of all, repent from what? Broken from what? I'm broken from I'm broken because the soles of my feet to my head, there was no soundness. I'm repentive to know that I was in this condition. And that, guess what? All my sores aren't yet healed. All my cuts aren't healed yet. So I got to constantly be repentive to know every time that wisdom is shot towards me, it's not to destroy me further, but it's to help heal me. The Most High don't want those sacrifices. He don't want you just sitting here and just to be here. I'm going to show up to class just to be in class. He wants that broken spirit. He wants that repentive spirit. Okay, I'm here. Now what do I do? What do I got to do to show the Most High that I care that he pulled me out of this situation? What do I got to do to you, Yahweh, to show you? Is it just sitting in class? Is it just watching online? No. Now you got to put in that work.
Come.
To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts. And I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of goats. Because the Most High wants your spirit. He wants that broken mind. A lot of y'all ain't ready to let go of you and give yourself wholly, fully to the Most High, to the wisdom. When you come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. At the new moons and the Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with it. I cannot away with. It is iniquity. Even the solemn meeting. Because it's not, listen, you serving the Most High holy is not predicated on, oh, I know the Sabbath. Oh, I follow the Sabbath, brother, I'm good. Oh, when y'all getting together for that feast? That's not what it's about. It's about recognizing your faults, fixing them, and then doing what? Helping the next man recognize him and helping him fix himself. It's about you being there for your brother to close up his wounds. It's about you being there for your sister to close up her sores. Not just sitting there and like, oh, you got a cut on your arm. Not just telling them, hey, you got a cut on your arm. You want me to get that? Not just being amongst them, but having that whole heart towards your brother. Verse 15. Verse 14, slide. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them.
It's showing that they weren't sincere anyway.
Right.
So you can give all the lambs and you can celebrate all the high holy days, but it's no sincerity. This is what the problem was with the Pharisees. Mm-hmm. That they did all those things, but in their heart they were defiled. They did them robotically. They didn't really do them considering and seeing the spirit behind these things. That's why the law, Yahweh Shai had to come and bring the understanding, because we weren't spiritual. We just robots. And that's Israel's going back into that. You're going back into the thing that got us in this situation in the first place. Being robotic instead of being spiritual.
Because we thought that the more feasts we kept, the more bullocks we sacrificed, that was going to clean us up.
Right.
We thought we were going to be made perfect. We thought we were going to be made perfect by these things. That the law was going to perfect us in a way of just doing it doing it carnally. Check this out. I'm going to read this real fast. Where is it at? Foolish Galatians. It's Galatians chapter 3 and verse 1. Check this out. O foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Yahushua hath been evidently set forth, crucified among you. Check this out. Are you, verse 3, are you so foolish, having begun in the spirit, ye are now made perfect in the flesh? See, everything, listen, Paul said it best. The law is spiritual, but I am carnal. So even when we went to go sacrifice that bullock for our sins, there was a spiritual connotation behind that. We were just too naive to pick it up. When we went to burn our incense in the temple, there was a spiritual thing behind that. We didn't pick it up. We just knew that if we did this, the Most High would forgive our sins. So we got carnal. We got carnal thinking that the more bullocks I offered, the more spiritual I was and the more perfect I was. So what did we do? We filled the Lord up with incense and burnt offerings, thinking that that was going to make us perfect. But he said it. Are you so foolish, having begun in the spirit, because the law is spiritual? Are you now made perfect by the flesh?
Right, but you got to read verse 2, though. You can't, because the point you're making. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. This only would I learn of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith.
Because that's the point. The point is that they're looking at it carnally. They're thinking that I received the Spirit by the works of the law.
Right.
They're putting the fringes first before the Spirit.
Before understanding why you have to wear the fringes.
Right.
Right.
They're just, I did it. I did the fringes, so I'm righteous now.
Right.
Nah.
Because what happens? No, because what happens now is when you run up on a brother that don't got his fringes, now you're looking at him like, you're off.
I'm righteous.
And you're off.
And you're off.
But that brother understood the difference, or understood why the fringes were necessary.
Not saying he don't gotta have his fringes.
On right, but he understood.
But the thing is, the problem is you're putting one over the other.
Right.
And not understanding they have to be joined together. Yeah, you got the fringes, but do you understand why? Then does the fringes outweigh your brotherhood for that person?
Right, because fringes, me not having fringes on don't stop my brotherhood towards you.
Right. Or you having your fringes on doesn't stop my brotherhood towards this man that doesn't have fringes.
Right.
Right? The first thing to do is fringe check, nigga.
Because the ones with the fringes, man, listen, the most...
be like, fringe check, nigga.
Beard and fringe check.
It's like we were in Florida for a summit. Now, I had my fringes on. I had my fringes on. I think Mashaba had his fringes on.
And it's for these very moments why you do, though.
Yeah. Hey, I stay fringed up. Why? Because a nigga will fringe check you
quickly.
And they won't care. They don't care about, they don't know you. They don't know how long you've been in the truth. They don't know your character. They don't know what spiritual things is combined
with your works.
With your works. But, Banabad didn't have his fringes. Now,
Banabad been around forever.
Let me show you. Let me show y'all how Israel, man. Israelites are hypocritical. So the brother, first of all, the brother that checked him had leprosy. He had leprosy. He had I could ask him. He had leprosy. He was like, but where's your fringes though?
Damn.
But he had leprosy. Now, we could have been dumb, but we understood. We understood that people that are doing that, they're young. So we were like, we didn't come back and be like, but you're a leper. You can't even be in the sanctuary. See, but that's the problem, is that cats don't understand that, yeah, he forgot his fringes. He threw on a shirt, and he rolled out. But the fringes don't make him a priest. Right. If it was just based on that, then there wouldn't be a lot of niggas online with fringes.
Fringes don't make you a brother.
Fringes don't make you a brother. Fringes and the Spirit makes you a brother. Fringes and the Spirit makes you a priest. He that is a Jew is one inwardly. So what matters more to you? The outward or the inward? What? Let's be real. What matters to Israelites these days?
How long your fringes is?
The outward. I'm going to say it again for the ones that are not catching it. Get your fringes up. I got my fringe game up.
I also.
But every shirt I got fringes. My drawers got fringes.
My beard got fringes on.
God. Fringes got fringes. But that don't mean nothing if I'm a nigga, if I'm a beast, if I don't got no love. I'm just going to have fringes on with no spiritual backing behind that. So we got to watch before we get in that Pharisee mind state of, yeah, you got your fringes, you got your head wrap, you got your beard, but there is no brotherhood, there is no love, there is no respect, there is no, I don't know how to treat my wife, my kids, my family, my nation. There is none of these things. I'm not going to understand that, you know, a brother that comes in or a sister that comes in, they're poor and they just don't got the fringes up yet. You know, or they, like you said, you ask the brother, where do I get the fringes at? Well, this brother don't know yet. He didn't know you can go to, where'd you get it from? Hobby Lobby or, you didn't know you have to sew them on. He didn't know that yet. But the first thing I do is hit him up and be like, look, where's your fringes at? He don't know that. Until you sit down and what? Show him. Until you sit down and teach her, don't wear pants, right? You can't hit everybody up. So it's just a reminder, man, that we can't go back into this carnal mind with the sacrifice, with the new moons, right? That's what Paul's saying. Read down in Galatians.
Where we at? Galatians.
Read down in Galatians 3.
This only what I learn of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith.
Listen, if you don't think what we preach is the wisdom of the Most High, then what did we read then? Read it again for them.
Galatians chapter 3 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
This only would I learn of you.
Read.
Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law.
So, what came first? Your fringes? Or you finding out you was a Hebrew? Did you have your fringes on and then a brother met you and said, oh, you're a Hebrew Israelite? No. Were you already not eating pork? I mean, some of you probably put that off back. You put away pork, but you would still eat what? You would still eat shrimp, crabs, lobster, oysters, caviar, big cockroach crawfish. You was eating all that madness.
Calamari.
I ordered some kimchi soup the other day. Kimchi's cabbage. Man, these cats had two big shrimp.
Damn.
In my thing. I was like, wow. And it looked disgusting. I was like, I don't know how. I think the last time I ate shrimp was about 4. Scrimps, yeah. That's about the time we got the truth. But it was about 4. We used to hit up Red Lobster.
Oh yeah, that was a spot.
Yeah, hit up Red Lobster back in the day. I remember it as a kid. My dad and my mom. Oh, the pork chop and all that. Pork chop was the thing. You know the Puerto Rican pork chops. It'd be on point. But if you weren't eating pork, you was eating shrimp. My point is that what his point is that you weren't doing righteous in your right robes and righteousness, and then a brother said, "Come, you're part of us." No, you were dirty, you were filthy, and you received the Spirit, and then you started putting on the carnal things that match the Spirit. That's the point he's making. Go ahead.
Are ye so foolish? Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith?
Read.
Are ye so foolish, having begun in the Spirit?
Right. You see why I said read up?
Yeah.
Because it's the same point he's making, that you're making, that is being made in Isaiah.
Right, in Isaiah.
Like all your oblations, that's all great. You're doing your sacrifice. You're doing your Sabbath. You're doing your new moons. But they got to be added with something. It can't just be the new moons and Sabbaths and you're a demon. Right? And then you feel you're right because you celebrate the Sabbath or you got your fringes on. Go ahead.
Are you now made perfect by the flesh? Have ye suffered so many things in vain?
Right? See, are you not made perfect by the flesh? Meaning that you're using carnal things to verify that you are righteous.
To establish your own righteousness.
Yeah. And you know how you do it? You'll yell at your rib. I'm being in order, being locked in, being this and that and this and that. But you yourself won't have no standard for yourself. Why? Because you're a Pharisee. You're a Pharisee. You're using Israelite because just to get a woman in order, just to get your house in order, but you won't keep the standard. That's what the Pharisees were doing. We got to watch it. I know brothers don't want to hear it, but you got to watch it. You know what I mean? We don't want to be the ones that Christ said, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity. And we taught in your name, we did this, we did that. But really, why did you teach in my name? Were you teaching because you could yell at people? Were you teaching because you were powerful, you looked like a strong black movement? Or was it about the word, the spirit, Christ, pleasing him? You see that? But a lot of times it's not that. Is it? A lot of times you get brothers screaming at their ribs, get in order, she's wicked, she's off. But you wicked, you're off. You won't follow the law. You won't follow the scriptures. Y'all get that? So we got to watch it because we don't want to be cast. We don't want to be cast away. This is something that I always check myself on. You know, we're screaming, check somebody quick. But are we checking ourselves? Because if you're not checking yourselves, you're going to be a castaway. Go ahead.
He therefore that ministereth to you the Spirit.
He that ministers to you the what?
The Spirit.
Yahweh Shai ministers to the Spirit. Go ahead.
And worketh miracles among you.
Read.
Doeth he it by the works of the law?
I mean,
by the hearing of faith?
Listen, he's checking that mind. He said that none of those things has the power of the Spirit. Those are things that you add to the Spirit because it's the duty and it's what the Most High required. But that don't make you spiritual. Anybody can wear fringes. You got FBI and CIA wearing fringes. You got FBI and CIA covering their head and wearing a dress. So that make them spiritual? Because they can quote scriptures? You're going to know them by their fruits. Con? Read.
Even as Abraham believed the Most High.
Right.
It was accounted to him for righteousness.
See, did Abraham have the law?
God.
Did Abraham have Moses' law?
Not the written.
Did Abraham have Moses' law?
Lie.
What was he determined righteous of? Listen, first of all, let me rewind this. Read the Bible again.
Which part?
The one you just read.
He therefore that, even as Abraham believed the Most High.
Go ahead.
It was counted to him for righteousness.
Go ahead.
Know ye therefore that they which are of faith are the same are the children of Abraham.
Why is Paul? Forget about edification. Let's read what he just said. Why is Paul pointing out Abraham being righteous at this point? Why?
Believe in the unseen.
He believed in the unseen. What else? No, you're missing the whole point that he just made. What voice?
Verse 6 or verse?
Read 5.
He therefore that ministereth to you the Spirit, and worketh miracles among you.
Right.
Do he it by the works of the law?
What's that? What does that mean? Who knows? What?
Is it going through the motions of the law that's bringing the righteousness?
Okay. Right. What? Mark?
You can't be just justified by works.
You can't be justified. Good. You can't just be justified by the works alone. Right? What?
He's showing that when you first started believing, it was because of the Spirit. And now that you got the Spirit, now you know the law. Don't just try to deal with the law. You know what I'm saying? Without forgetting to keep the Spirit.
Right.
There you go, You got to talk a little louder, but there you go.
Because when the Most High came to Abraham, he wasn't hitting him with the law.
Right. Abraham didn't have the written law.
Yeah. He wasn't like, go sacrifice this, go do it. He was just like, go here and do this.
The law was written in his heart.
Right.
And therefore he did the spiritual and he did the carnal. So there's two that needs to be together, not just one. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
Even as Abraham believed the Most High, it was accounted to him for righteousness.
Because he believed. He said, go sacrifice your son. Well, what does that say that in the law? He didn't have that. So he did what? He went and took to sacrifice his son, and that was accounted for him for righteousness, because he believed him. Go ahead.
Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham.
Go ahead.
And the scripture foreseeing that the Most High would justify the heathen through faith.
Right, so y'all get that, right? All right, we wanted to point that out because about this sacrifice and about
incense and new moon.
Incense and new moon.
Doing things carnally.
Doing things carnally, not with the spiritual added. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Hey, let's get through the reading. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And when you spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean. Put away evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. Verse 19. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. See that? You got to be willing. That my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. But if you refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. How is the faithful city become an harlot? It was full of judgment. Righteousness lodged in it. But now murderers. Thy silver has become dross. Thy wine mixed with water. Thy princes are rebellious, and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts, and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doeth the cause of the widow come unto them. Therefore saith the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries, and avenge me of mine enemies. And I will turn my hand upon thee, and purely purge away thy dross, and take away all thy tin. And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, and the faithful city. Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness.
So that's you're gonna go to 27th?
I read 27.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna go over to Acts 9, verse 1 down to 21. Did anybody have any questions on that Isaiah 1 and 9? None? So everybody, if we go back through it and start asking y'all questions, y'all got that, right? I know Jeremiah, you got it. Jeremiah, stay studied up. I'm asking everybody else. Y'all got it. Y'all got to have it. If you don't, ask and we can refresh or go over it. All right? I mean, it's basic. I mean, you can always add precepts, but it's just us being in this mind state in captivity. The Most High is showing us how we're going to be delivered. Okay, more. Acts 9, verse 1. This is going to conclude reading, y'all. After this is the reading is over, and then we're going to go into questions. And if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and prepare them now. All right? So we're going to read Acts 9, 1 down to verse 21. It says here, And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest, and desired of him letters of Damascus to the synagogue, that if he find any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound bound unto Jerusalem. So this Saul, we know, if you don't know, it's talking about Paul and what he was doing before he was woken up. He was persecuting the church. It said he was binding them. He was bringing them before the church and bringing up accusations against them. A lot of time, it was false accusations because they weren't worshiping any other gods. They weren't worshiping, bowing down to other idols. But even the name of Yahweh Shai wasn't supposed to be spoke, right? Because they put him up. They were making it seem that when they spoke Yahweh Shai's name, that was another god outside of the Most High.
Real quick before you go on.
Yeah.
They asked about Isaiah 1 and verse 16. Is that
wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings.
Right. He said
that goes with the spiritual baptism, showing you that we're supposed to be washed and clean, and it tells you put away the evil of your doings.
Right. You could Psalms 119 and 9.
Yeah.
Wherewithal shall the young man cleanse his way by taking heed thereto unto thy words.
John 17 and 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is true. Ephesians 5:26, right? All those scriptures that's a precept that goes with that. That's what they were asking.
Basically, is that cleaning with the Spirit?
Yes. All right. So verse 3, it says, and as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven, and he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahweh Shai, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And the men which stood journey with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus, because he had been blinded. Okay. What verse? No man. In verse 8. And Saul rose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was there 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias, and he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas one called Saul. For one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth. And he saith in it, and have seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hands on him that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man, how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And he hath authority for the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. And Ananias went his way and entered into the house and put his hands on him, and said, Brother Saul, the Lord, even Yahweh Shai, that appeared unto thee in the way as thou camest, have sent me, that thou mayest receive thy sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized. And when he had received meat, he was strengthened. Then Then was Saul certain days with the disciples which were at Damascus, and straightway he preached Christ in the synagogues, that he is the Son of the Most High. But all that heard him were amazed and said, Is not this he that destroyed them which called on the name in Jerusalem, and came hither for that intent, that he might bring them bound unto the chief priests? But Saul increased the more in strength, and confounded the Jews that dwelt at Damascus, proving that this is very Christ. And after many days were fulfilled, the Jews took counsel to kill him. But their laying await was known of Saul, and they watched the gates day and night to kill him.
Verse 27.
Oh, I went down. My bad. All right, so anybody have any questions on that? Yeah.
Something I just picked up the year before when I read it. That 9 and 22.
Right, but Saul increased the more in strength, and confounded the Jews which dwelt at Damascus, proving that this is very Christ.
So basically, meaning like his actions. They talking about his actions, or they saying like we know this Yahweh speaking through him.
Right. This is Yahweh speaking through him. Verse 20. And straightway he preached Christ in the synagogue, that he is the Son of the Most High. So think about it. Their mind state in back then is they're preaching somebody besides God. So he had to come back and preach about the anointed. That this is the very anointed. Remember what we read about in the Old Testament? About... No, go ahead.
Talking about when they be speaking, they be like, no man can speak, let's be with him or something.
Right, but also when you go back into the Apocrypha, that word anointed, it says, this is 2nd Ezra 12 and 32. This is the anointed which the highest have kept from them kept for them and for their wickedness until the end. He shall prove them and shall upbraid them with reproof. He shall reprove them. Did I say something wrong? He shall reprove them and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. So this word anointed, we know as what? Christ. It means anointed. So this is what I'm saying, and what the scriptures is saying is Yahweh wasn't known as Jesus Christ. He was known as who? The anointed. So if you were to translate that Greek back into Hebrew, it would say Mashiach. It would say anointed. Okay? All right. So, all right. Any other questions on that? Acts?
Nah.
Con or la?
La.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and go into questions now outside of the reading, unless anybody got any question online, reading or outside the reading. Now's the time.
There's one online, sir.
What we got?
What is the meaning of kick against the pricks? Does it mean hurting yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Meaning kick against the pricks is like, imagine you kicking against cactus. You're only going to hurt yourself. So you can't kick against the will of the Most High. If you're caught, the Most High will blind you, drag you, shut you up, break you down, all the way till you realize I'm going to have to submit. So Jonah, he was stubborn. He didn't want to listen. So the Most High had to put him through a few things. Paul didn't do that. He submitted, yeah.
This off the top. Are y'all anticipating that nationwide fast next month on the 25th?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. What, are they doing it for a day?
I thought that was this
Yeah,
one.
for a day.
It's next month?
Yeah. Sunset.
Why not? You know what I mean? We should do it.
I said it on YouTube.
What about the one that they're doing, like on the 27th?
No, it's next month. You're getting your days mixed up. There's only one.
Oh.
Yeah. You're probably just getting your time mixed up.
It's on the 25th.
It's on the 25th of next month.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, why not? As a camp, we should do that. Try to put in our support. You know, we need it right now. All things fasting and praying, we need it. You know, whatever we can do for the Most High to be graceful and look down upon us. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. All right, what else on there? Nothing else? All right, we'll give them a few seconds, all right, to see if y'all got any questions off the topic, on the topic. Real good Sabbath reading today. We touched on a lot of things. Right? He's excited back there, right?
Done.
All right, we got any announcements we have to do while we wait for them to see if we got any?
No, a brother just said, I saw the 25th of July.
25th of July?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Oh, we're in July.
In July. Yeah, it's the 21st of April. Yeah, it's the 25th.
Oh, it's the 25th of this month then.
This July?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's July.
See,
it's
yeah, I do the same thing. Oh, I be 2 months ahead, you know, weeks back. So it is July. So we're going to do it on July 25th. How many days? When is that?
4 days.
It's for a day?
It's on Wednesday.
No, it's for
It's for
one
one
day.
day. I said 4 days for a day.
Right, 4 days for okay. So yeah, so
Sunday on the 25th of July.
yeah,
Con.
1 day. Listen, we just did a few days, so there's 1 day ain't gonna be nothing to y'all. All right, so July 25th. Just a reminder, we will be partaking in this nation fast. You know, listen, man, y'all gonna have some haters on there. I don't know who came up with it, but if we can all get together, if camps, schools, brothers, sisters, we can all fast together. What is it gonna take from your spirit? You know what I mean? You know what you fasting for, right?
Con.
There you go. So
It's all about the unity.
it's all about unity, exactly. So there's nothing wrong with that, man. What else? Yeah.
A brother is saying our fast ends tomorrow at sundown, correct?
Right. Tomorrow at sundown, exactly. So yeah, hey, listen, the thing is that y'all online, what we got to do is this. You brothers and sisters that are saying to yourself, I'm going to be listening to this school and be getting class from them. You can hit us up. We can put you in a camp text. And the camp text, we don't bother you all the time, but we give updates. We communicate about certain feasts, certain gatherings. We might throw out scriptures here and there. We're not trying to bombard you all day, every day, because we know some of y'all work. But what y'all should do, if you say, I'm part of this school, I'm going to be watching class with these brothers, hit us up. Then what we can do is add you to that camp text, and we can all get these updates and kind of be on the same page when we do fast, when we do feast, when we do get together, when the high holy days are, anything in unity. Like we did before with the camp vows and stuff like that, you'll be in the middle of that. All right. So if you want to be part of that, hit us up. That way, next time when we do the fast or gathering or anything, we can all know and be on the same page. All right. Because sometimes y'all online, y'all be online. Y'all not communicating with us that close till we get in class. So my number is up there. She can put it. The camp, if you hit me up, we'll throw it in the camp text. Hit me with your name, hit me with the number, and then we'll add that to the camp text. You gotta have Google Hangouts.
Gmail.
Oh, we don't need your number. We need your Gmail. So get an Israelite Gmail or something and give us your Gmail. Right. It's not your phone number. We do it through Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is the best. You know when people read it, they can't ignore it. All that stuff.
You know when they read it and don't respond.
You know when they read it and they don't respond. You know, all that. So yeah, it's your Gmail. Excuse me. So if you want to do that, hit us up or hit me up with the email. All right. No other questions biblically? No. Listen, y'all. I want to say this: you brothers and sisters that have committed to the vow you committed to, not a gun put to your head. Remember that every month. You know, it does help out our school. We appreciate that. We appreciate whatever y'all give. When y'all do give, it helps us out. It takes the burden off of the body here. All right? I say a gun to your head because we don't want it to feel like that. All right? We want it to be free will through your heart. All right? Other than that, if nobody got any questions, I'm trying to talk to see if anybody got any questions. Nothing else?
Someone said, so is the fast 24th sundown to sundown 25th?
So is the fast on the 25th?
25th sundown.
25th sundown to the 26th sundown.
Right.
25th sundown to the 26th sundown.
24 hours.
So 1 day. Oh, it's nothing. 1 day fast, no water, no food. Yeah.
Like the Day of Atonement.
Like the Day of Atonement. All right. So if that's it, we're gonna finish up the prayers. Nothing?
No.
Okay. Imajim, Wapanyahakwadam. We're gonna finish up the Sabbath, the ending Sabbath prayers for today. So they can feel like they're praying with us. They were facing the east. All right. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Baba Kushah, Shemai, Palal Nawa, Zashabah. Hear our prayers. Hear our cries. This Sabbath. Yahweh, we ask of you to forsake us not to this world, to this kingdom. Deliver us, Yahweh. We ask of you to send your Son to deliver us. Do what you promised. Deliver your saints. Deliver the nation of Israel. To watch over us. Be with us. Guide us. Stand by us. Remove confusion and chaos from all the nation. Please, Yahweh. Unite us in one mind, one spirit, one judgment, taking away pride, division, discord, hatred. Please, Yahweh. Strengthen us. The families, the household, the children, the wives, the husbands, to be in one mind, one spirit, under you, Yahweh. Please bless us with wisdom, knowledge, understanding, faith, patience, love, brotherhood. Please, Yahweh, give us the power to walk like your Son. Clean us, Yahweh, to walk like your Son. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Shemai. Palal Nawa. Barakatah Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Hahawa'ah. Nathalanawa. Hatharara.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the law.
Barakatah Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Hahawa'ah. Nathalanawa. A war. La Ra'ah.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the light to see.
Barakatah Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Hahawa'ah. Nathalanawa. Ha'ayo. Korah. La Kora'ah. Ha'ain.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the ram's horn to call the people.
Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Hahawa'ah.
Hahawa'ah.
Natalanawa.
Natalanawa.
Shaman.
Shaman.
Zayath.
Zayath.
La.
La.
Mashaf.
Mashaf.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
And if you want to get anointed after class, we'll do that after class. This is Psalms 92. It is a good thing.
It is a good thing
to give thanks unto Yahweh.
To give thanks unto Yahweh.
To sing praises unto his name.
To sing praises unto his name.
O Most High.
O Most High.
To show forth thy loving kindness.
To show forth thy loving kindness.
In the morning.
In the morning.
On the Sabbath.
On the Sabbath.
And thy faithfulness.
And thy faithfulness.
Every night.
Every night.
Upon an instrument.
Upon an instrument.
Of 10 strings.
Of 10 strings.
And upon the psaltery.
And upon the psaltery.
Upon the harp.
Upon the harp.
With a solemn sound.
With a solemn sound.
For thou, Yahweh, has made me glad.
Has made me glad.
Through thy work.
Through thy work.
I will triumph.
I will triumph.
In the works of thy hands.
In the works of thy hands.
O Lord.
O Lord.
How great are thy works.
How great are thy works.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
But a brutish man.
But a brutish man.
Knoweth not.
Knoweth not.
Neither doeth a fool.
Neither doeth a fool.
Understand this.
Understand this.
When the wicked spring up as grass.
When the wicked spring up as grass.
And all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
And all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
It is.
It is.
They shall be destroyed.
That they shall be destroyed.
Forever.
Forever.
But thou.
But thou.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Are most high.
Are most high.
Forever.
Forever.
For lo thine enemies.
For lo thine enemies.
Thine enemies shall perish.
Thine enemies shall perish.
All the workers of iniquity.
All the workers of iniquity.
Shall be scattered.
Shall be scattered.
But our horn.
But our horn.
Shall thou exalt.
Shall thou exalt.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed.
I shall be anointed.
With fresh oil.
With fresh oil.
Mine eye also.
Mine eye also.
Shall see my desire.
Shall see my desire.
On mine enemies.
On my enemies.
And my ears shall hear.
And my ears shall hear.
And my desire.
And my desire.
Of the wicked.
Of the wicked.
That rise up against us.
That rise up against us.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon.
He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai.
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai.
Shall flourish in the courts of the Most High.
Shall flourish in the courts of the Most High.
They shall bring forth fruits.
They shall bring forth fruit.
In old age.
In old age.
They shall be fat.
They shall be fat.
And flourishing.
And flourishing.
To show that Yahweh is upright.
To show that Yahweh is upright.
He is my rock.
He is my rock.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
This is Psalms 133. We're going to say it in English and then repeat it in Hebrew.
No.
We're going to say it in Hebrew and then repeat it in English. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hamalawath.
Hamalawath.
Ladawad.
Ladawad.
Hana.
Hana.
Matawab.
Matawab.
Wama.
Wama.
Na'ayam.
Na'ayam.
Shabbath.
Shabbath.
Akyam.
Akyam.
Gum.
Gum.
Yachad.
Yachad.
Kashaman.
Kashaman.
Hatawab.
Hatawab.
Al.
Al.
Haraash.
Haraash.
Yorad.
Yorad.
Hazakwan.
Hazakwan.
Zakwan.
Zakwan.
Aharan.
Aharan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Al Panya.
Al Panya.
Madawath.
Madawath.
Yawa.
Yawa.
Katol.
Katol.
Karawan.
Karawan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Al.
Al.
Hariah.
Hariah.
Tazayawan.
Tazayawan.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Shum.
Shum.
Tazawa.
Tazawa.
Yahweh.
The mountains of Zion, for there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Shemai.
Shemai.
The Lord Nawa.
The Lord Nawa.
Za.
Za.
Shabbath.
Shabbath.
The water.
The water.
Damyad.
Damyad.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, that's going to conclude the prayers. Go ahead and flip the camera around. Flip the camera around. Flip it. All right, and brothers circle up. Let's salute, and then we'll salute the sisters. And for y'all that don't know what we're saying online, we're going to say the Most High in the name of Christ. Let them in here. The Most High in the name of Christ. Bless them in the name of Christ. And then we're going to come back and say to the sisters, the Most High in the name of Christ. Watch over them in the name of Christ. So go ahead and call it.
Men of Israel, I might you. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barak Adon.
Yani Matah, which is hands down. Turn and face the daughters of Zion. Call it.
Saluting out the daughters of Zion, men of Israel, I'm mighty. Barak. Yahweh Shemal Adon Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Yani Matah, which is hands down. We thank all you brothers and sisters for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love, the brotherhood, sisterhood. We'll see y'all Monday. We'll see y'all Monday. Where's that, right? We'll see y'all Monday up here, and we got a few good topics we're gonna be going over Monday. Y'all dismissed. Fall out. Yeah, we're gonna get ready for street speaking here and get busy. Huh? Who wants to get annoyed? I can't hear you. Ronnie. Okay, all right. So listen, we're gonna anoint him. If y'all could just keep it a little low. Keep it low. We're gonna anoint the brother real quick. Oh, that's just because he's reading loud. Mine been like that too. Give him some lime water. Yeah, you know what I mean? It'll be fine.